As the automotive and technology industries collide, many tech companies find themselves in an exciting but daunting position, having to contract with established automakers. These contracts can have long-lasting effects on how the technology is built, on how risk is shared between the tech company and the parts manufacturer, and on who owns any data collected by the end product. Contractual choices that appear to give an inch may, if handled poorly, give a mile and can condemn even the most promising unicorn. So here is some strategic advice for companies entering negotiations with established manufacturers in the automotive space. Preparing for when things go wrong. Contracting is about risk, agreeing in advance as to what will happen if it all goes right, if it all goes wrong, or if results fall somewhere in between. For tech companies contracting with auto manufacturers, the end calculus is no different. The two industries, however, have developed largely opposite contractual defaults as to who is liable and who must indemnify whom with regard to a composite product. Traditionally, automakers have been able to secure indemnification commitments from component suppliers for harm traceable, in whole or part, to the supplier-generated product used in a composite vehicle. Technology makers, however, generally allocate this liability in the reverse direction. In the software licensing context, for example, liability is often disclaimed outright, requiring the licensee to agree that the supplier of the license cannot be held liable for damages resulting from use of its software. In terms of contractual strategy, this has a number of consequences for the tech company. First, the company should expect this divergence and be prepared for it. This includes being particularly attentive to liability shifting and indemnification provisions the automaker may insert into a draft agreement. Similarly, the tech company should expect the automaker to show some resistance to language it inserts wholly disclaiming supplier liability or indemnification duties at the outset of negotiations. Perhaps more importantly, the tech company should craft liability and indemnification language that is nuanced enough to be enforceable. Don't rely on the traditional liability, indemnity, and warranty provisions that work for software. They're unlikely to be enforced in a context where system failure could result in the loss of human life. Any agreement by which a tech company is supplying software or hardware for use in a passenger vehicle meets this criteria, regardless of whether or not the vehicle is autonomous.